U.S. Army Civil Affairs. What's up, everyone? General Discharge here. If this is your first time with us, our voices are disguised so we can give you information on just about anything without being detected. Today's video is going to be discussing the United States Army's Civil Affairs, sometimes referred to as CA for short. In this video, we're going to go over what Army Civil Affairs does, their training pipeline and the schools they can attend, their requirements, and an overview of them as a whole. Before we jump into it, make sure to take a moment and show us some love and support by liking our video and subscribing to our channel. Your support is our lifeblood. Do not hesitate to ask us questions in the comments section below. We check everything. U.S. Army Civil Affairs soldiers are Special Operations soldiers. Civil Affairs falls under USASOC, which stands for United States Army Special Operations Command. USASOC is the Army's component in USSOCOM, which stands for United States Special Operations Command. Interestingly enough, a majority of civil affairs soldiers are composed of reservists, with roughly 10% of civil affairs having an active component. The training is different for reservists and active duty, and we will get into the pipelines later in the video. However, there's a caveat. While we did just say civil affairs soldiers are special operations, this only applies to the active duty component. Reservists work in conventional settings. Where will you be stationed? Tying into what we just said, it will depend on whether or not you are active duty or a reservist. The active component is the 95th Civil Affairs Brigade, having all of its 5 subordinate battalions in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Each of the 5 battalions is regionally aligned to one of the 5 U.S. combatant commands: Southcom, CENTCOM, EUCOM, AFRICOM, and INDOPACOM. The rest of civil affairs entities are scattered throughout the U.S., so depending on where you are as a reservist will determine where you are placed. The dots on screen represent all of the spots that civil affairs battalions are. There's a lot. Hey there, we hope that you're enjoying the video so far. General Discharge has a Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please consider joining the team. Links in the description. Now back to the video. Okay, so you know that civil affairs is mostly reservists. You also know that they're special operations. What is civil affairs? What do they do? Let's get into it. Civil affairs operators are versatile, innovative, and highly trained soldiers who operate in small, autonomous teams among local populations, even in hostile or denied territory. Trained in foreign languages, cultural expertise, and negotiation techniques, CA soldiers commonly operate in civilian clothes in over 80 different countries worldwide to build networks of formal and informal leaders and accomplish important missions in diplomatically or politically sensitive areas. They apply knowledge of governance, economics, and politics to affect human behavior and work towards strategic goals. A civil affairs team can support conventional or special operations forces, or work in partnership with other government agencies. CA soldiers mobilize civil networks to empower military operations and cooperate with civilian agencies and organizations to achieve common goals. Ultimately, CA teams work to defeat threats within the civil component of the operational environment. Their job duties include help plan U.S. government interagency procedures for national or regional emergencies, assist with civil military planning and support, coordinate military resources to support reconstitution or reconstruction activities, support national disaster, defense, or emergency assistance and response activities, and foster and maintain dialogue with civilian aid agencies and civilian relief and assistance organizations. Okay, you know what civil affairs does. Now you're probably wondering how you can get into this career field. Did you know that you can work in this position as both enlisted and an officer? The MOS code for enlisted civil affairs soldiers is 38 Bravo, and the officer MOS is 38 Alpha. Just keep in mind that officers cannot directly join for this MOS. They must be either a first lieutenant or a captain in order to qualify for this position, as well as a bachelor's degree, obviously, since you need one to be an officer. As far as the enlisted side goes, you can join as a civilian if you're signing a reservist contract. However, for active duty, you must be within the rank of specialist, sergeant, or staff sergeant. We will go more into the requirements in a bit, but let's first go over the training required to become a civil affairs soldier. It all starts with the Civil Affairs Assessment and Selection Course. Lasting 10 days, this is where the Army chooses who gets to continue on to the CA pipeline. It serves as a tool to assess character, courage, commitment, and intellect, and trains candidates to handle situations they may face in the field. You'll do long-distance runs, ruck runs, PT, lead a small team during periods of mental and physical stress, and research and analyze problems and develop solutions, both individually and as a member of a team. If selected, you move on to the 48-week Civil Affairs Qualification Course pipeline, which is divided up into 4 phases. Phase 1 is 11 weeks, which is the CAMOS training. Phase 2 is 10 weeks, and is where they learn Special Operating Forces skills. Phase 3 is the 3-week Sluss-Tiller culminating exercise. And Phase 4, the longest phase at 24 weeks, is where they receive language training based on what area they will be operating in. Active CA personnel will also become Airborne qualified, having to attend the U.S. Army Jump School, which we did a video on. Go check it out. The link is in the description. Keep in mind, reservists have a shorter pipeline, having a 10-week AIT after basic training. The long pipeline we just mentioned is for the active duty soldiers. Another great opportunity active civil affairs soldiers have is the possibility to attend SOCM, which stands for Special Operations Combat Medic Course. They only attend the short course and do not attend the long course, which is known as SFMS. If you want the scoop on SOCM, we did a video on this course as well, and you definitely need to go watch it if you haven't seen it already. The link is in the description. Okay, now let's go over the basic requirements to become a civil affairs soldier. They are: pass an Army Physical Test, or APFT, with a raw score of 210, have a pull has 111221 or better, have an enlisted record brief or officer record brief. For enlisted soldiers, have an ASVAB GT score of 107 and be within pay grades of E4 through E6. For officers, be between O2 and O3 with a bachelor's degree and be eligible for a secret security clearance. If you're not familiar with what POLHAS is, we left the link in the description for you that explains what it means in case you're curious. If you're interested in seeing what other Army Special Operations career fields there are, we have done videos on almost every one of them. We did one on Special Forces, Rangers and their Regimental Reconnaissance Company, Psychological Operations, the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, and even one on Delta Force. We have a playlist for all of these videos, so after this, if you haven't seen them, make sure to go give them a watch. We'd appreciate your viewership. Well, that is the down and dirty of the United States Army's civil affairs. If you learned something from this video, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. As always, thank you for watching. What would you like to see next? You are probably expecting to see Nick Naja asking you if you want to be here right now. Well, we're adding something extra to show our appreciation to our supporters before he pops up. Here is all of the patrons we have over at our Patreon. Thank you to everyone who took the extra step in supporting our channel. It is much appreciated. Expect to see this at the end of our videos from now on. Until next time.
All your friends are subscribing to General Discharge, and you don't even want to be here.